The Uhuru Academy overall is an amazing school from the teacher to the students. It's a place where kids can build their confidence and learn how to write, read, type, all of that good stuff. We learn our history here. We honor our ancestors, so we learn about who we are and where we come from, and I really enjoy this about this school. And like everybody's pretty much saying, it's a safe space, and we can always be able to feel like we can open up to our classmates and our teachers. So that's what I love.
I love the environment and that they promote not being afraid to ask for help.
Something positive about the Uhuru Academy is this is a safe space, and you can be able to say whatever you want to say without being embarrassed, just like how Amani said. I've been able to, sometimes I can be shy talking around people, but y'all have taught me not to be shy and everything. This is a very good school. The part that I love about this is when we do ancestor reverence and African history.
I think it's the greatest school I've ever went to because you teach me about my history, and at the other schools they never taught me one thing about my history. They just taught, the only black people they talked about at my other schools were Carter G. Woodson, Martin Luther King, and I think that's it. So you guys helped me learn my true history.
The black woman is God, plain and simple. She's the mother of all Africanity, and I'm her companion, her compliment, her confidant. Since the beginning, so it will be in eternity. Our ancestors shine through us. Our offspring validate our existence.
No survival without resistance. Akivalon, stand up. Black love, stand up. Every God, every goddess, forever united and unstoppable.
Giving honor to the ancestors, those who came before us, all the wisdom that they show us. They patient cause they know us when we fussing and we fighting. They manage to enlighten, enhance our insight. So our outer like and right in our connection is a titan. Our love is a colossal, disagreement is a fossil. I am your apostle, our love is like a journal. Turn the page eternal, our souls intertwine. The theology of time dictates that we rewind and go back to the beginning when the deities were women. Time to stop pretending that I hate you when I love you, putting other things above you. Don't like that others drug you. Not me, I always love you. I believe we've been together since the birthing of forever. You work the stormy weather. I'll never do it better than I do it in your presence. You validate my lessons. My God begets blessings. That's why I call her essence.
The black man is God, plain and simple. The world sees your greatness. Why can't you? Y'all want to see the sisters step up and lead this fight? Because we weak. But not without you. You're a warrior, a scientist. I'm your compliment, your companion. I only want to see you on the throne.
So black man, step up. King, step up. Ain't no way we don't ride when we got a black woman that knows she's God. Ebony, yes.
You my dove, I'm your new. You the truth, I'm the proof. No abuse. My masseuse, tie me up and turn me loose. Sebek and Heteru, giving thanks in Neteru. For the king I get in you. No regrets in picking you. Like I said, the two us all. I remembered who you are. I'm your moon, you're my star. Your performance over par through the pain and the scars, the shackles and the bars. I fly from here to Mars with my feelings in the jar. If I thought it set you free, I gotta have you next to me. Your intellect vexes me, your conversation's ecstasy. You and me is heavenly. Freedom is our legacy. I've yet to see another brother that can touch the best in me. DOK and Ebony, together for eternity. Even when you hurting me, I'm by your side, certainly. Written in the sacred text, from this cycle to the next. I'm the most and you the best. Face to face, we ace the test, huh? See, what y'all don't understand is we were meant to move in harmony. 2 minds, 1 soul. It was written in the ancient scrolls. With the black man as your backbone, how could you fold? Take back what they stole. They broke the mold, but these songs were made to hold. And hold on, be real. Nigga, be still. Bitches, be real. The deal has been sealed, and all we come against is killed. You and me.
All right. Mic check 1, 2.
Greetings, peace, what it do? This is your girl Nkoyo, Ifayemi, excuse me, Nkoyo Binah, Ojuok. I am here tonight for Wild Warrior Women's Wednesday. If you are joining me live, I appreciate you jumping in, hopping in, joining us for a very empowering conversation. I haven't been on for a while, so I appreciate y'all coming in. We're getting back started for the year 2024. I go closer with the new year. My new year is going to start spring, so I'm going to bounce out for that time. Winter time is when that's when I'm chill. So the January is still chill, but I am nonetheless here live and with a special guest. I have been interviewing since I've been doing Wild Warrior Women. I've been interviewing a lot of Wild Warrior Women. I thought, you know what? Why not interview the Wild Warrior man that's by my side? So I wanted to interview my partner, my king, my confidant, my ace boon coon, the own co-founder of the Uhuru Academy, Baba Amin. You all know him. Yeah, what's up, Baba Amin?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing, Queen?
Oh, he got the little sexy interview voice on, y'all. I wasn't ready for that. That threw me off. But hey, I'm good.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here with me. Again, family, you in with us. Please say what's up to us. Please like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You go if you're on YouTube. We just here to just have a conversation. It's going to be strange. This is not he say, she say. So it's going to be a different vibe, but the same vibe. It's going to be kind of, it's us. We don't know how to be anyone else but us. But I am in the hot seat. I have the privilege of being able to ask and guide this conversation a little bit more. I like to guide, y'all. I like to guide. So, we here. Facebook user says, peace, Baba Amin, Mama Nkoyo. Peace, Facebook user. You probably need to give StreamYard permission to use your name, or you could just put it in the chat. Say, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'll know who you are. All right, so we're going to get this party started. You've seen we had to pay the bills. We had advertisement for our, again, he's the co-founder, and I'm a co-founder as well. And together we are owners and founders of the Uhuru Academy, established 2010. And we've been going strong. We started in Texas in the physical being, and we've been moving around, helping other communities get their Uhuru Academy or not their school. We just all about putting a school in your community so that you can take control of the narrative for you and your community. So that's what we've been doing. So, but we're here. I'm going to allow Baba Amin to introduce himself a little bit. I've been knowing this brother for
since you fell in love at 13.
Is that's the lie you tell? Okay. Anyway, I think I was more like 14, maybe, 14, 13, because I think you were high school. But anyway, but that's when I met him. I was best friends with his sister, my sissy, Shanita Richmond. We were the gang. We would clan. We walked around and we terrorized Forest Oak. I just want to say, but that was when I made a statement. We met, but we didn't. There was nothing else. We've always come in within each other's midst and then come back out, go back out and do our thing and come back together. The work in the community, I think our spiritual guides and answers have always brought us back together, and we've been knowing each other since then. So that was 14. I'm 20. It's about 34 years. Is that right? 34, about 34 years. Right. Yeah. A long time with known someone, but to be actually connected as partnership, as mates, we've been together, known each other for about about 17 years as that we've decided to do this journey together. So I am pleased and happy to have him on. I'm going to let him introduce himself. He can talk about a little, something that he want to talk about, whatever you want to talk about, introduce himself. And then we're going to get into the interview, get into this conversation. I hate to say interview because it's so formal. I like to say conversation, dialogue, because, I like to talk. I like to be very casual, so so Baba Amin.
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you. Asante Sana. It's an honor to be here. Again, I am Baba Amin Ojuwo, divine compliment of Ifayemi Nkoyo Binah. It's an honor to be the first man ever interviewed on the Wild Warrior Women podcast.
First.
I'm looking, forward to being here tonight because I'm in the mood to tell brothers and sisters what it's like to be married to a wild warrior woman and how you can support and uplift a warrior woman, how a warrior supports a warrior. So I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Okay, all right. I am as well. Well, to get this started, as I always do, I like to say that start with some definitions that have been given to us, what we've been told about, a couple of words that I use within my title of my podcast. First of all, wild. Wild is a term that is used as free. Well, that's my term. They don't say it free in the dictionary. They actually say something that's uninhabited. Let me get it. It's been a while since I've used this definition. I have no problem. I was trying to watch myself on the live, but I won't do that right now. I'll just go.
I love how you interpret it, though.
I'm coming with it. I'm going to interpret, but I like to start with the definition that Webster normally uses, so that you can get a gist of the terminology that is used within the masses of society, and how it's deemed when it comes to in relations to us as Black people, and especially Black women. So wild, of an animal or plant, but we know living or growing in the natural environment. I don't say the animal plant, but living or growing in the natural environment, are not domesticated, not cultivated. You see how they say that? That's wild, not cultivated. And I normally say wild for me is just someone that that's not touched by the energy, the definitions, the of mass, the mass of, or the society of mass media. That's what I would like to say, or of the dominant society.
Right.
So that's you're uncultivated by their culture. I'm cultivated by we're taking that back. I'm cultivated by my culture. Not domesticated. What's domesticated means tamed, trained. I'm not tamed. I'm not trained. You're not tamed and trained, because if we did, we wouldn't be on this journey. First of all, second of all, but also, so wow, that's what I think wow is in your natural state. You're going against the grain of what that road most traveled. You're going against the grain. I always like to say, as I am showing up here as my most authentic self now. I tried this rap was doing something good, and I was like, oh, that's cute. That made me look real 70s and 80s and classy.
Good, yeah.
So, but it kept dropping and wasn't doing right. So, but that's me. And then first I had it wrapped around. I had it so that it could give me that good up. It's an example of how I go against the grain. It was give it up. I was going to take the end of it and wrap. I had it wrapped around my neck, and it just looked like I was Joe Navarre in my former life, but that slid off, and I didn't want to do that in the midst of the podcast. And then I'm going to stop, because I like to freeze. I'm not going to be able to fix it and keep going. But anyway, that's an example of how I go against the grain. I was giggling in the mirror when I was getting ready, because I remember one of my former relationship, my boyfriends used to be like, man, you just like just being different. And yeah, I do. I like being me. It's not really if it's different, but I like being me. Those bowling shoes. I don't know if I ever wore them with you, because they were my favorite shoes. They were bowling shoes, looked like bowling shoes, that they were made. They were made as shoes, and I would wear them with blue, and they had the little square thing, and they were my favorite shoes. Stuff like that. No one was wearing that. I looked really freakish, but I didn't care. I was cool with it. So stuff like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
yes, all about how you do it.
That's wild. Warrior. Warriorness means it's someone that takes the definition says that it's someone who wants to protect and take care of their community, their family, someone who's a strategist, and that's someone that has decided to give up their life if they have to for that which they believe in, and I believe that that's what we do as Black women all the time. I Black people all the time. That's what we do. We sacrifice ourselves a lot for the great good of our community, our nation, and a lot of times for this place who don't give a damn about us in the United States of Snakes of America. So to take those terms back, that's why it's critical for me to point out the definition that they give and the definition of my interpretation of that definition and how I've lived my life. For you, as a Black man in America, grew up in, the quote unquote ghetto.
Hood, baby.
How would you say that you have lived out something outside of mainstream, or that would categorize you as wild or even a warrior? Would you define yourself as someone that's outside the mainstream?
I absolutely would. I absolutely would define myself as somebody outside the mainstream. When you talk about being wild, right? It's a trip because when the outsiders came into Africa, even though we were operating full societies, had spiritual systems, family systems, the whole 9 yards, because we were different from their culture, they labeled it savage. They labeled it wild. They labeled it uncivilized. You know what I'm saying? And put a negative connotation on it. You know what I'm saying? As far as who we were. So when you make that comparison of being wild and saying that just means I'm back in my natural state. In other words, if Napoleon walked up on me today, he still called me a savage, and I'd be proud of that. And I look at him and say, I'm not only am I a savage, I'm about to do something savage to you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, being a dark-skinned Black boy, you're always, I remember being young, always feeling like, I'm not accepted because I was dark. And you look at light skin, and I grew up, my early part of life, it was afros, but then we got to the 80s, it was the curl. And then if a dude, a child had naturally curly hair and light skin, they would look at as being beautiful, being different, being accepted. You know what I'm saying? So I think as a dark child, I always felt wild. I always felt on the outside looking in, and somebody that had to be different in order to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? I even remember being in high school, and even though I was a great student, I remember a teacher pulling me to the side, and she was like, "You don't understand. You at the top of your class and you dark skinned." Like that was some kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like being dark. I wasn't even supposed to be that. You know what I'm saying?
That's in spite of.
In spite of, you know what I'm saying? And so, not connecting to African culture yet. I ain't know anything about anything like that. But being smart was my calling card, and it was my way of saying, accept me. Because I can't get rid of this nose. I can't get rid of these lips. Can't get rid of this hair. I can't get rid of this skin. So perhaps if I'm smart, I can impress you. If I'm an athlete, I can impress you. So I always kind of had that feeling, and then when I discovered knowledge of self, it was like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with my skin. Ain't nothing wrong with my lips. Ain't nothing wrong with my nose. There's something wrong with y'all. There's something wrong with society. You know what I'm saying? And so I rebelled in college and was like, you couldn't pay me to wear a tie. You couldn't pay me to do anything Eurocentric, till I got with the Nation of Islam. And even with the Nation, it
wasn't Eurocentric, right?
It wasn't really Eurocentric because the white man became the devil, you know what I'm saying? So it was a whole different thing, but you still wore the suits and the bow tie. Now I'm cool with that, no problem, but it was still something in me that didn't want to wear that uniform. As much as I love the teachings, it was something in my spirit that didn't resonate with the uniform. It didn't resonate. It wasn't Black enough or wild enough. You know what I'm saying? I was in the hip hop. I started resonating more towards traditional African culture. So I think when I really, really knew I was wild was when, even though I had no problem being a righteous Muslim, I still didn't want to cut my hair and wear a bow tie and be conservative like that. All right. So I think that's when I really knew that, hey, I'm just not one to conform.
Dope. Dope.
And that is what it
That
is.
is what it
And
is.
shout out to my NOI brethren. You know
All
what I'm saying?
right, Rez. But I do know from the stories because I have good, I have a
Got
little
some
insight. I have a little insight.
We've met.
I think that we've and those who acknowledge and see it and be able to live it out later in their journey, you look back and you see those indications, even when you were a child, even as a youth, that I just don't fit. I don't fit in
I've
this
been
mold.
weird my whole life.
That's what I was getting at, but you said it.
Yeah, I've been weird my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I've been weird. I've lived inside my brain my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've never been that. I've been popular, but not on purpose.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And you know, I've always, I never cared about shoes. You know, I've never cared about a car. I've never cared about a lot of things that you say that average brother in the hood, whatever, is supposed to care about. And
Right.
this ain't never been me, but and no shame in it. I was just like, you know, I am who I am.
Right.
You know, and yeah, I've always been against the grain. It's just something in me, you know, and but it's always been love. You know, I mean, I had cats that would try to pick on me and all that, but I wasn't bullied as a kid. You know, when you tried to bully me, number one, I could out high side you. And if I can't out high side you, I know who can beat you up. And I made no qualms about lying to one cat to get him to beat up another cat that I wanted to get whooped.
He's a Gemini guy, so he's great with his words. So the high side, I didn't do well. I always used the hands because I just didn't come with it. I wasn't all for the high side, and so I'd get mad quick and I'd hit. So I'm glad I would. I
always stood on my square. I wasn't afraid to you.
And coming up in the neighborhood, you just didn't feel like that.
I was talking about my big brothers early on. You know what I'm saying? Stand on your square. You are who you are, and if they don't like you, they got to respect you. But you don't change for nobody.
You don't change. You don't change. And again, so thank you for answering those. I want to make sure I reach out and say hey to all those who are entering in, the family that's entering, Sister Kwesi, my auntie Robin Jackson.
What's
shout
up,
out.
Robin?
See, that's family. That's family. She know me as Coco, and don't just keep. I'm glad that she don't get on Facebook as much and don't be trying to. Show me up and talk about who I was, Coco. I ain't ashamed of. I'm just saying, it's a little, embarrassing about the things. But anyway, shout out to Sister the Fun Creations. We say peace to you as well. And yes, you can get these glasses. Actually, you can get them. I think it's Zelo is where I got them. ZEE. It's those sites that sell the glass, the frames, the fashionable frames, Zelo. If they give me some extra merch, then I would advertise. But I ain't gonna put their what you call it?
What you ain't gonna blow like
I'm not putting a link or anything in the chat, but that's where you can get them from. Sis, I'm just letting you know. But thank y'all for joining in. I appreciate it. Before I be remiss if I did not, before we go any further within the podcast, is honor my ancestors, honor our ancestors, honor those wild warrior women that we want to bring into this space and that helped get us where we are today. Those who kept us on point. And so I have water, I have plant, and I'm going. Those of you who would like to honor, you have women that you or wild people in your life, those who were warriors to you guys that were in your lives or in your lives, not in them now as far as alive. I want to transition the ancestors so that we can shout them out, we can honor them, bring them into this plane of awareness so they can be with us and we can be about the things we need to be about and say the things we need to say. I say that's one of our spills from school. Yeah, it comes natural. So when y'all ready, I'm ready. Who would you like to honor?
My mother, Alice Baker.
Alice Baker, Ashe. I would like to honor my mother, Vicki Jackson, Ashe. Ashe, who else?
My auntie, Billy McLean.
Auntie Billy McLean. We just auntie you, baby Bill. This last Friday was some spicy spaghetti and fried fish.
Spicy spaghetti and fried fish every Friday.
I would like to honor my grandmother, the woman who raised me that I call mama, is Ola Searles. Ashe.
Oh, my Aunt Irma Nail.
Ain't Irma Nail. Oh, boy, I'm gonna tell you, I love our country. I love
powerful,
people.
Beautiful aunties. What?
Bill, Irma Nail. Who else? I would like to. I'm gonna honor my Aunt Linda Jackson. I love you. Ashe.
I got one more, ain't it?
Yeah, come on.
Aunt Faye.
That you can't leave Aunt Faye.
I can't leave Aunt Faye.
Can't. Come on, Aunt Faye, Ashe. And I'm my one of my funny aunts that or aunties that just transitioned is Dolores Turner Jackson. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Who else? Like what?
Oh, you know what? I want to honor my cousin Sandra.
Sandra, beautiful voice I heard. One
Oh
he
my
had the
God.
first crush on. Cousin. Oh.
I did. I was little. I just
I mean,
looked
you
at-
supposed
Oh, I was
to.
a little
Look,
boy. I
whoever
remember being
you-
like 7 years old, just
Right.
looking at her sing Natalie Cole.
Come
Like,
on.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
and that's all
Yes.
we listen to now is Natalie Cole. All right, Miss Fun Creations, Aunt Dorothy Brown, Ashe. Ashe. And also, okay. I thought she had another name. So anybody else you would like to honor, please put it in the chat. I'm gonna honor in collective now. We can do collective. I'm gonna honor Nina Simone, Ashe.
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 I'm gonna honor Cecilia Fatima.
Ashe.
Ashe.
I'm honoring Fannie Lou Hamer, Ashe.
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 I want to honor Sojourner Truth.
Ashe. I want to honor Eartha Kitt, Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Who
Yo,
about
I'm
you?
gonna honor Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Ashe. I'm going to honor Zora Neale Hurston.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Queen Mother Moore.
Queen Mother Moore. Ashe. I'm gonna honor Betty Shabazz.
Ashe. I would love to honor Amy Jacques Garvey.
Amy Jacques Garvey. And I'm gonna honor the other Amy Ashwood Garvey. Ashe. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna say we like to honor all those we have not named, all those great warriors that we have not named, but we certainly have not forgotten. Ashe.
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 Ooh, that's why warrior women.
Yes. Not at all. Not at all. And with that's my echo. My bad. Ashe. So with that being said, who I know you've named some of those great warrior women, but who are some others? Maybe some that you had that had direct and profound impact on you growing up and as growing up within as a child and on your journey and even to now. Who are some people some women and some men that you consider that were instrumental into you being who you are?
Well, it definitely does start with my family. My family taught me how to love. My mother taught me how not to give up. She taught me how to not stress over things I couldn't control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How to pivot, how to adjust.
Right.
Alice Baker was a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? And so definitely starts with her, because that's who I leaned on. And I had men in my life, but that's who I leaned on a lot. She understood me probably more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? That side of you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely her and her sisters, just a bunch of beautiful women who were super strong, you know what I'm saying? But then the men in my life, man, my big brothers, my brother whose ancestor, Kenneth Darren Thomas, my oldest brother, Gary Anthony Sims, Gas, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They educated me. They kept me on the straight and narrow, let me know I had something in between my ears. So I didn't have to necessarily get out there and embrace the street life, you know what I'm saying? So they gave me a lot of life lessons because they were living it so I could avoid a lot of things, my father, my biological father, Robert Parker, who's also an ancestor, had a profound impact on my life, and I don't speak ill of my father. My father wasn't necessarily there. He was in and out of my life, but he showed me not only what not to do, right? Because he hurt me a lot emotionally, but at the same time, the time I did spend it with him were the times I learned most about myself because I'm literally a mirror image of the man. You know what I'm saying? So he had a profound effect on my life. My stepfather, Weldon Baker, I don't talk about him enough, but he stepped in and he stepped in and married my mother, a woman who had 5 children. You know what I'm saying? And back in them days, 70s, 80s, that was kind of taboo. Now it's still taboo now. You know what I'm saying? But he did that and he stepped in and helped raise another man's children. And I'll always appreciate him for that. That had a profound effect on me, just in the fact, if you just look at it, never bothered me for someone that I was with to already have children,
Right,
because someone
right.
stepped in, a man stepped in and took care of me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? When my own father
Right.
wasn't there, you know. So yeah, I have some great teachers in my life, man. Mr. Hudson, my math teacher at Dunbar High School, you know, he was ranked one of the top teachers in the nation. He made me fall in love with math. A
Right.
black man made me fall in love with math. You know what I'm saying? So he had a profound effect on my life. Miss Jones, my English teacher in the 12th grade,
Right.
you know, a sister, powerful sister. Everybody was afraid of her class, but she would pull me to the side and tell me that I was special and to keep going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dr. A.J. Stovall,
I see.
you know, he's at Fisk University now, but he was my intro to Black Studies teacher when I got to Wiley College, and I was flunking his class, making an A in linear algebra. I was taking calculus at the same time, pulling A's in all those classes as a freshman. And I took an intro to Black Studies class, and by midterms, I was flunking his class. And he pulled me to the side. And he was like, what good is all that knowledge if you don't know who you are?
I say.
And he made me read The Miseducation of the Negro and the autobiography of Malcolm X. The first black man to ever pull me to the side and tell me that we didn't come from slaves.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So he had a
right.
profound effect on my life. Ricky Clark, the first brother to show me how to teach, and give me an opportunity to teach there in the middle of the Butler housing projects in the hood. Because like I said, I've always been different.
Right.
So when I was 18, 19, I wasn't gang banging and jumping on that wave with everybody else. I was riding a city bus to a neighborhood I wasn't even supposed to be in and teaching Black history to kids, to children. You know what I'm saying?
At
so,
18, you could have been out chasing tail
Well, I was doing that too.
I mean, I'm just saying it could have been. That's what makes you different.
That's a real good multitasker. I ain't gonna say I wasn't out there. You know, group was up the hill, a party was down the hill. You know what I'm talking about? So you know, we definitely left group and didn't go straight home. You know, when I was hanging out in the hood. You know, so I bounced it out. I was on the block with everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I was on the block as a teacher. Right. At 18, I was on the block as a brother that was kicking knowledge. Right. If I did it, I did it. If I wasn't into it, I didn't do it.
So you were all those brother men. They be put the what they call the taboo characters that they have on a lot of shows. I can't remember the brother's name.
Like on Minister Society. Yeah, I was him. Yeah, that was definitely him. I was definitely Raheem or Raheem.
Right. Brother. Black man.
Yeah, I was definitely him. I'm sitting right there in the car, everybody else. And I'm drinking a 42. Like, yeah, we really need to come together as a people. Yeah, y'all need to stop slanging all this dope. You know, all that. But I was right there. I was right there in the mix. But everybody respected me, knowing that I wasn't down with certain things. And the hood, the streets protected me. Right. You know what I'm saying? And Fun Creations, that's Lucretia. She can attest to it. Lucretia was one of my first students. That's Lucretia from Butler Housing. Yeah, that's who Fun Creations is. You know what I'm saying?
I won't forget you no more.
She could attest to a young Steve coming up into the into Butler House and teaching Black history, riding that bus over there and just being myself. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. I mean, you woo, you had to be wild and a warrior. You had to have that mentality to be able to go, those who are from the funk, to be able to go into Butler Housing,
walked in there,
and you not a part of no set. Mm-hmm. This is during a time where it didn't, if you weren't claiming the set, if you claimed the set and you walk through there, you done. And it wasn't a set that's there. Then if you don't claim no set, you still could be gotten. Because you got to claim.
Yeah, all day long.
And so, but you were able to go through there many times, and you helped bring out the sunlight and the greatness out of Butler.
Yeah. Butler became more better. And shout out to Ricky Clark and Will Muhammad, Tammy Pierce. Everybody was a part of that whole crew, man. I used to catch the bus. When I started going to Butler was so bad. Mm-hmm. The city bus didn't go in when I started.
They stopped on the corner.
They stopped on Lancaster and Pine. Yep. And you had to walk past the old I Am Turtle School, down the little hill around, go past Chamber Street up there. So you had to walk.
Make it that far.
If you make it that far. There's a couple of trap houses along the way, you know. And I mean, cats would test me, but I passed every test. Like they, you know, they would come through like, man, what set you or what you on? And I always say, man, I'm on that black power. I'm on that black power. That's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you run into an OG or somebody who's been down, they understood what that was. All right. So I always had safe passes in Butler from day one. I ain't got nothing but love for Butler housing because I always had safe passage, and I think people felt it. And that's when I knew it was kind of bigger than me. And especially in hindsight, I shouldn't have made it. Like that shouldn't have been allowed to happen. Nobody ever really asked me what hood you from. I was from Stop 6.
And you would have got.
I would have got. And I wasn't offering that information.
Okay,
you know
smart
what I'm saying?
Man.
But nobody really. I went straight to that rent office and went there and started teaching. And once I started teaching the young people, it didn't matter. I was the Black History dude, you know, and I had safe passage the whole time.
And it's very crazy and ironic that I lived in Butler housing for a while.
Yeah,
and even as a resident, I got harassed. Because I used to work for the bus bond. I lived down on Northwest the street, so I lived closer to the store that was off over the bridge. Yeah, I had to walk up the hill to get to the bus bond, and I would have on my blue uniform. But they you know, they watched, then they knew the community talked, and I was associated with some people from the rival thing. I got bottles thrown at me. I got called slob bees. I got called all dead, this, that, all kinds. And I had to stand my ground. Right. And they left me alone. I told them, I said, look, I don't know I'm just trying to live, boo. I ain't got nothing to do with nobody. I better leave me alone. Because you come with a 12 gauge, I'm gonna put the 12 gauge right here. I mean, silly and stupid. Now, you know. But I'm kind of like that woman on that picture that they have that had that, and that police had that knife up to her, or he had the gun and she had the knife, or she had a hand at the gun, looking at him like, try it, sucker. Right. And that's what I've always been within my community. So it was just ironic that you freaking Butler and you were good and you came brought education, and I was up there trying to get up out. I hurry up and got up out too, because I was not.
Black love was always my weapon. And if Black love wouldn't have worked, I was in trouble. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can defend myself, but if you're in a rival neighborhood, you're by yourself. I mean, there was no need for me to bring bravado, because that wouldn't have done no good
at all.
You know, and so I just brought the truth. Right. You know, and I made sure I looked men straight in the eye. Right. You know, and you know, stood upright. Absolutely. And boom. But that was also that Nation of Islam training that helped me out as well. You know what I'm saying? Because when you rocking with the nation, you know, you stand upright. You know, you stand on your square. Right. You know, and so when you have that aura about you, you know, it is what it is. Right. It was nothing but respect.
That's what's
to this day. I'm still cool with OGs. Right. From back then. Shout out to my boy OG Cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. From Butler House and East Side.
That it. Baba throwing up gang signs, y'all. I'm just kidding. It's not gang signs.
I'm the only cat that's been put on multiple sets.
I know, for being positive. Right? Throwing up sets.
I'm on doing the world. They've been put in multiple sets for being positive.
Yeah. It's very strange, but I get it. Powerful. I love it. So next thing and I didn't get to ask you, I gave my definition, my interpretation. I didn't get to ask you, and you've been giving it somewhat throughout the conversation. Do you have a definition of wild? And if so, would you expound on it? But what's your definition of wild?
I love your definition. Okay. But if I was to add anything to it, I do. I don't like you. I don't like you.
Okay, I love fun. You make me
nervous. That's so cool. I can still do that. I love your definition. Mm-hmm. If I was to add anything on to wild, I would say it is organic.
Yes.
It is not concerned with the box that society has decided to put us in.
Correct.
You know, it's unpredictable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's to be adaptable as well. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's how I would say wild, you know, and I would give an example like Charleston White is wild to me. You know what I'm saying? We know Charleston, you know what I'm saying? I remember when Charleston first started doing what he does, the way he he does it now.
Right.
People would call me like, man, help us calm down, Charles. Don't Charles think ain't he one of yours? And that sort of thing. And I'm like, yeah, Charles considers me a teacher, but I liked that he was wild because I felt like the situation needed a wild call.
Absolutely.
Too many people were being polite.
Absolutely.
Too many people wasn't saying what needed to be said. We were running a school, so I had to watch what I said. You know what I'm saying? So when this wild card came into the conversation, let's see how people react. I'm not gonna stop it at all.
Do you think that's that's a great example, and it's a kind of it takes a liking to the Martin and Malcolm what's the word? You know the word.
Dynamic.
Well, yeah, dynamic, and how they compare the comparisons that they had.
Right.
You know, and then I remember Martin quoting time. He's quoted when they asked about Malcolm. It was like, well, you know, it's not necessarily alternative, but this is the answer. If you're not taking it, you're not listening to me this way, then hey, we're going over here, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that Malcolm was physical when he said with his quote, by any means necessary, is what they were asking him about, and about, you know, fighting back. He's not going to match the nonviolence for nonviolence, and that's where they were different. But that would be kind of considered as like, this is your, you know, this is the answer. I'm cool with it. I ain't, because I'm sure people went to Martin was saying, go talk to Malcolm.
Right. Can you
like,
calm that black, especially after Malcolm was assassinated in '65. And the Black Power movement, you know, when Kwame Ture and all them started screaming Black Power, you know, they looked at Martin like, didn't Kwame Ture, didn't Stokely Carmichael come up under you with Snick and all that, you know? And Martin was like, hey, Black Power is what you're gonna get. You hearing the voice of the frustrated, voice of the oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Basically, Martin was saying, I'm asking nicely for Black Power. They're demanding it. You're ignoring me asking nice. But now you want me to tell him to be quiet because he's demanding it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of like my dynamic. Gonna be like, why? You know, if he said all the preachers over there raping young girls, call him a liar. If y'all call him everything except a lie. Now, once you tell me he's lying, then we can go deal with it.
But if you can't call him
a liar, if you just telling me he rude,
can't do nothing about that, sir. Right. All right. So what about a warrior, being a warrior? You know, when we hear that a lot, even within the conscious woke Black Power community, when you hear the word warrior, it's like, the bravado and this, What do you consider as your interpretation of the word warrior?
My interpretation of warrior is someone who recognizes that there is a conflict, recognizes that a war is going on, and not all wars are fought with bullets and guns, but recognizing what's going on and participating, defending yourself, being an active participant in that war. You know, we chose education. We believe that there is a war for the minds of our children. There has been a war for the minds of Black people that go back to the end of slavery. And slavery was a war. It was mental. It was just as mental as it was physical. So I'm a warrior. I couldn't see that and then just go get a teaching job. I couldn't see that and put my paycheck first. I couldn't do that. A warrior can't do that. A warrior has to fight. And when I realized I couldn't get a paycheck and fight, I couldn't get a paycheck from the system and truly fight it at the same time. And I looked at good people who needed paycheck. I don't judge them, and they're doing what they can there. I said, somebody got to just be independent so they can fight. And I decided to be the one that'll fight.
Fight.
Fight. And you don't just fight by protest.
No,
you fight by building an alternative.
That's right.
Clean glass, dirty glass. So I chose what most Elijah Muhammad called clean glass, dirty glass theory. You know, you don't have to tell somebody that their water's dirty. Just sit some clean water next to it. So Uhuru Academy is our clean glass. So when you see our students, when you see them loving how to learn, that's just a clean glass. And then I have to trust that your spirit is going to tell you to drink that water.
I say. So with this journey, you mentioned the Uhuru Academy. You talk about your early days within Butler Housing, and being a part of STEP program and all those. As a person deciding, you're intentional about the direction you're going. You intentionally left Wiley College, a full ride scholarship. You intentionally got on the 90 to get on the bus to go to 91A. you intentionally walked down that hill. You intentionally signed up with Ricky Clark and decided you're going to be, you know, he was going to be your Jegna. He was going to teach you and educate. You
And I was a samurai.
You intentionally said, I'm going to go into this job with JJAAP, whatever. That's the juvenile justice. And I'm still gonna do what I do. I'm not gonna do it how they want me to do. I'm gonna go into work in these other the workforce program. They want me to spend, I'm gonna spend this money and I'm gonna help these babies. And we work on paperwork. You intentionally did those things. So when you say I got fired, I got let go, it wasn't because your performance was up to par or that you were a bad person. It was because you just wasn't ready to toe the line. And that's been the same way with your journey with the Hoover Academy. How has there been times where your warriorhood and your wildness have been tested, and how did you deal with it?
Ooh, that's a great question. Every scenario you named was a test.
Yes.
Like every scenario you named was a test. You know, when I was at the juvenile detention center, the test was every day going somewhere where Black children were being locked up and discriminated against.
Right.
And just being a part of that, you know what I'm saying, was a test for my spirit.
Right.
But it was a good paycheck that I needed at the time as a security control officer. The test was, how do I do this without selling out, without abusing them too?
Right.
And I loved on those children when they came through there so hard that, and ultimately the director of juvenile came to me and said, teach the rest of them to do what you do.
Right.
You know, I remember Smiley Alyssa came out of court one day. I had taught her in alternative school before. She came out of court one day and she refused to go back to the back. They didn't let her go home. And I call her Smiley. And she came from such an abusive home. I'm getting choked up thinking about it. She came from such an abusive home, you know, and when I taught her when she was like in 4th grade, you know, she used to kick everybody's ass at school. Right. Just whoop ass at lunchtime. You did not mess with her, but she'll whoop somebody's ass and look at you and go, and she's just the cutest little girl. I'm like, God damn. So I used to call her Smiley to calm her down. But anyway, she ended up coming to juvenile years later as a teenager. And I'm working at juvenile. She come out the court. She refused to leave, and she sit there. So they called me on my walkie-talkie. You know, Richmond, can you come see about Alyssa? She's refusing. So I get that they about to manhandle her. Yeah, they're about to grab her up. You know, and I was like, no, everybody stand back, move. And everybody watching like, ooh, he finna get her. Right. I sat down on the floor next to her. I said, man, it's messed up. You can't go to the house right now.
Y'all made me cry.
And she a little tear. She was just like, man, it's just hard. You know, and she, I was like, well, how do you feel? Right. And I let her tell me how she felt.
And that's all.
And I listened.
A lot of us need.
That's it. I listened. I said, look, let's go to the back, because this too shall pass. Let's not even worry about it. Let's go to the back. I'm here with you. I love you. You know what I'm saying? There are people who care about you, you know. And she cried and she looked at me and she was just like, okay, I will for you. You know, and we got up. I told everybody, y'all move out the way. No hand cutting, nobody touch her. Move out the way, you know. And I walked out of there. And I'm talking about the most racist cracker in the organization. I didn't even name his name. But he came back there to me and he said, that was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, and I'm thinking to myself,
sound like a racist cracker.
He was. and I just said to myself, now that was a black man.
Right.
And what you saw was a black man protecting one of his children.
That's right.
That's what you saw.
That's right. That's what you saw. I say.
You know, and so, you know, being I get in these situations, I don't know how they're gonna go. Right. But every time God has been there to affirm my presence and affirm what it is that I'm trying to do. And that's what got me through, you know, those situations. And then I left there willingly. I left there to go work with coming up gang intervention. So I wasn't fired from the Jew. They begged me to stay. They offered me a promotion. But I had opportunity to get out there and work with gang involved youth. So I went and did that, you know, and did that for a minute. Then I went to the workforce and learned how to develop jobs for young people. You know, so every time I was moving in them early days just to get new experiences and touch, you know, that's where I first got in trouble, was when I started developing jobs. In 1 year,
1 year.
I put $400,000 in the pockets of young people in
That's
Fort
what's
Worth.
up.
In
That's
1
what's
year,
up.
I spent the whole budget.
You was a Trump of
I was giving out.
You get it straight. You get it
I was
straight.
giving out pandemic checks like a mug. You know what I'm saying? I was giving out pandemic checks.
Right.
I mean, it's 20 years later now.
Right.
I got and shout out to my sister T Clay. She I you know, my office used to be in the mall.
Right.
And Tiffany Clayton was working at the African import store. Young
Okay.
lady. And I was passing the store. I needed an administrative assistant.
Uh-huh.
So I was passing the store one down and look, I noticed her in there. And I went in there. I was like, you know, you like this job right here? She's like, no. I was like, you know, I just liked her flavor.
Right.
So I was like, I want to hire you as my administrative assistant.
Uh-huh.
You know, she came in. She was really my accomplice.
Right.
So she
right.
came in. I kind of let her know, hey, we're going to do this. This how we're going to do
Right,
this paperwork.
right,
We're going to put these babies on jobs, but some of them just in need.
Right.
And their job is
That's
just
what's-
surviving every day.
Right.
I'm finna pay this motherfucker to
Come
survive.
on, that part.
Right. And
Right.
and so we was
That's
doing
dope.
our thing.
That's
I was paying
dope.
people to come to class, you know, and do their
You
thing.
paid my sister, my little
Yeah,
sister.
she asked Katrina.
You put up.
Ask Katrina. I put her on, you know, I put on.
Yep.
In my mind, this just reparation. This crackers money.
Right.
They wasn't getting it for nothing. You
No.
had to be taking care of your business.
Right.
And then a lot of them I put on jobs. I had a budget where I was going to black-owned businesses in Fort Worth.
Right.
And I was saying, you know, you hire this person,
Right.
I'll pay them.
Right.
You know, and
right.
so
that's
you getting the
it.
free
Right,
employee as a
right.
black-owned business.
Right.
Boo, boo,
On the
boo.
dime of
Yeah,
the city or
yeah.
whatever.
I
Yeah.
got let go because they hired this South African white woman to run the program. You know,
Did that
and
start your disdain for white women?
oh no, shit, no, that's all.
Because it's a certain type
Dr.
of white
Khaled
woman.
did that.
It's a certain kind of white
But
woman.
a certain one I can't even get
Right,
along with,
right,
right? And then them bossy ones, the
Right.
ones that want me to smile. and shit,
Right.
And her number one mission when
Uh-huh.
she got there was to get me under control.
Wow.
That was a number one mission.
Wild.
I was a wild warrior. I used to go out the back door of the mall,
Come on.
security only entrance. Like you didn't know when I was in my office.
Right.
Like I was on some shit,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But I was doing my thing. I was moving the money, young people
Right.
getting paid. So she started putting impossible shit in front of me
Right.
to do. And like, you know, they're hiring out at the Gaylord,
Right.
which was way out.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, you finna pay the minimum
Come on
wage
now.
to
try
take
to
an hour and a half trip out here to a
Right.
job. You know, and so
Right.
you have to do that. I said, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
So I started making preparations to leave, which I always do.
Right.
So what I did, I opened up my first music studio in Pilot and
Mhm.
hired a bunch of young people to work there through my
Do
program.
your program? Come on now.
So my first staff
Spook
was
said
that.
by
Come on, man.
dough.
Hey, shout out to Jordan Boyle, who's right now making good money as a
Yes.
media mogul.
Yes.
He came through that program.
Yes.
Jerron Champagne, Molly G.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still in contact with all these cats
Absolutely.
who got out of the streets.
Right.
Molly G was talking to me the other day, man. You saved my life. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And so I did that by funneling those
Right,
funds
right.
into not my pocket,
Right.
into
To
their
their
pocket.
Right.
And they got to go and work in the studio every day. They got
Get
studio
paid
time
for it.
at 13, 14,
That's
15,
what's
16
up.
years old.
Yeah.
They learning how to engineer the whole
Yeah.
9 yards. So that's how that.
dope,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Great
yeah. So,
story.
you know, that's
Great journey.
yeah.
Great
So
journey.
so by the time when they fired me, I was ready to go.
Right.
That
right.
white woman fired me. I'm like, oh, okay, deuces.
Hey, don't bother me none.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I am grateful to be on. Those who are joining on or just joined on. This I am interviewing for the first time a Wild Warrior Men on the Wild Warrior Women podcast, and that is Baba Amin. He's co-founder of the Hoover Academy, man, visionary, a wild warrior in his own essence, in his own right. And if you've been listening to his journey, his story of how he became what, you know, who he was and what he is. And man, it's a beautiful journey. I want to continue by asking just some of the things that you would identify as a wild and a warriorness right now, as you know, that you are Baba now. You're not Steve. You're not Doc. You're Baba now.
Right.
So how does that transfer, or how do you transition that energy into the journey you're on now?
I'm still wild.
It is.
It's a trip because when I was bestowed the title of Baba, it was by our community, the Black community. It wasn't an official ELA. It was the Temple of New African Unity. It was our community.
That's
it was Black folk, regular, everyday Black folk. Many are being exposed to Black culture for the first time, but they were making a commitment in their lives to be better fathers, be better mom, the whole nine. And when we did the name correction and I was bestowed Baba, there was someone say, well, you're not a real Baba. You're not a Baba Lao. You're not a real Baba. You didn't get this. You didn't go through an initiation. You didn't go through this. And my response is, I went through an initiation that most of y'all couldn't even last through.
Ooh,
I went through an initiation with my people. My initiation began at 18 years old. My initiation began when I was turning down opportunities to make 6 figures a year and that sort of thing. And instead pouring all of my energy, into my people, into the community and that sort of thing. So I take my title very seriously. I think I'm a unique Baba and maybe the first of my kind.
Ashe. I mean, who say that, you're a Baba of, you are, of course, a Gemini, Gemini's a split personality, supposedly.
Yes.
But you spoke about turning down, $1 million, contracts and 6-figure jobs. I forgot you didn't say anything about your music career. Where you know what I'm saying? You've also been you're an artist. You were an artist that was signed to a label. You traveled. You did open shows for Outkast and all kinds of people. I mean,
Master P,
H-Time, Master P. So a man of so many faces. So you had an opportunity to go and to go to California and actually be on the label and actually do your thing, and you turned that down. You and your partner, y'all turned that down.
The situation wasn't right. One thing about myself, and shout out to LO to G, I love you. That's my brother. We formed a rap group, East Side. We met in Butler Housing. And this brother, he was actually getting out. He had been locked up, what I'm saying, for a terrible incident that had happened in his youth.
Go through stuff, man. That's a wild warrior right there.
That's a wild warrior. He's a warrior, man.
Yes, he is.
And we became kindred spirits, you know what I'm saying? And he actually taught me to rap. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to rap, but he taught me how to rap, how to write a song, how to put bars together. I remember Ricky Clark helped get us a job. And shout out to McCree Lester, who's an ancestor right now. He used to run the Safe Haven program on the South Side. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I've been in the trenches. I've been in the trenches, right? But we used to work at Boys and Girls Club. And he was in one room, I was in another. We on the walkie-talkie writing raps. And it was like, man, we good, And shout out to Ernest McGee. Every show.
You from the folk, Ernest McGee.
How they been doing these little posts lately? You from Fort Worth if you know who Ernest McGee is,
that
right?
Part.
And we had our first show, man, and we decided to name ourselves East Side. Not only because we was from the east side of Fort Worth, but the whole world comes from the east, right? And we just began looking for producers and ran into Zeno G. And shout out to my brother Zeno G. And it's just God has always brought warriors into my life, right? And Z is a warrior. And he's a wild warrior man for real, right? He's the one that told us that we were more than what we thought we were. And got us out there to LA. Shout out to Patrick Bates, who was a strong safety for the Raiders at the time. Shout out to Kevin Pup Smith, who was a DB for the Super Bowl winning Dallas Cowboys.
DB for the Cowboys.
That time. And they saw something in us and built us. We went to LA and the vibe just wasn't there because Death Row was the target. But at that time,
be a Death Row.
At that time, Pac had been killed like a year earlier, and it was wild. Suge was, we had a good friend. Shout out to Sean Barney, Rubble Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Had a good friend on the inside that kind of looked at us and said, "This ain't for y'all. This ain't where y'all want to be." And if God hadn't put him there, who knows how that story. Because Lowe is a warrior. And if we went in there and got into some shit, we got into some shit, right? And so we swerved. And they believed in our Pup, and Big Cat believed in our talent so much, and Z, that they built the studio just for us. Because it wasn't no at home studios. They invested in us, man. And we were able to record an album, East Side the Battlefield, and all that. And
look it up. Shout it out. It's great It is labeled as one
1998.
of what is labeled as the funk hip hop
Yes,
funk.
yes, a G-Funk classic.
G-Funk classic.
Yeah, we actually
classic.
it's actually considered a collector's item in
Y'all
Europe,
didn't
and
know?
that's so it's like a critically acclaimed
Come on,
album called
come
East Side
on.
the Battlefield.
Come on.
And yeah, man, you know, it didn't work out as far as us blowing up
Right,
and
right.
that sort of thing. But we stood on our principles.
Right.
And we wasn't gonna not be a positive group.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying? You
right.
wasn't just gonna turn us
Right.
gangster, you know,
Right.
because I think, like, especially with Low and with me, even though I'm not a shoot 'em up gangster, I've always been engaged in fighting gangsterism inside my community, up close and personal. So I don't play about that in the studio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Low has held people dying in his arms. He don't play about that in the studio.
Right.
So we wasn't gonna turn us into no commercial
Absolutely.
group like that.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I shake.
So that's just what it was. But shout out to here. Shout out to the DOC. You know what I'm saying? My brother, hip hop legend. You know, it's a blessing when you call yourself the DOK. You know, and when you meet the DOC, instead of him saying, "Man, you copied my name," he's like, "Man, I respect and love what you're doing," and he calls me the DOK, and we brothers.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So that's what that is.
All right.
Yeah. So the music has been something that I chose to use as a tool for liberation rather than a tool for fame.
Black people, y'all always come first with him. I'm just letting you know. He even uses music to make a way for us as a people to gain our freedom in more ways than the physical, all the mental, all those things. And I love that. That's you know, that was part of the reason why, you know, I said, yeah, you know, I'll say I do, you know, then we're going to go, you know, first of all, meet your crazy side family and, you know, this mix of, you know,
a very eclectic group of friends.
Mobsters and
shout out to my boy. I can't shout his name out right after you say mobsters, but shout out.
There's a story. You have to be there to know. That's why I said that. It's not a mobster.
I have friends.
But that and then the journey that we've been on since starting the Hoover Academy, having children, raising children up in the movement, starting, you know, with other great families, the movement that just really transformed Fort Worth, Texas on a major way. And that's the RBG Family Weekend, which is the Temple of New African Unity. We really were head of the movement, and I was on that journey with you longer to have new children. Then we
wouldn't have been one without you.
Then we've moved, and then we've traveled, then we moved, then we've traveled, and now I'm out here in South Carolina in the country. I'm good though, y'all. I'm all right. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was getting into. You know, wild and warrioriness, you know, knows. They say, you know, pot calling kettle black. I was calling the kettle black. I know what I was getting into, and that was what attracted me, and was like, yeah, I can get on this journey. That's about what I like to do, what I want to do, you know. And he has a way with that. What, you know, anyone he meets, you're going to, you know, want to get on. Hey, how can I help? What I want to do that.
Yeah, and that was you all day long, especially when I opened the studio in Poly and was doing the sound program, Sounds of Unity and Determination. You know, you came through, you know, often, you know, and I'm talking about the work part. You can't do
you didn't, nobody would have known anything. You said anything.
All right, but anyway, but you would come through though and work. And I just remember a moment when I was doing a NASCAR protest thing, and I was about to take all them young people from the hood.
I knew I was
across the country in vans, and I needed somebody to help me get these vans because I ain't had no license, driver's license. And you know, you came through, but it wasn't that you came through. It was a look you had in your eye when we was at the rental place.
I know what that time. I know the look.
You know, and I was taking care of the thing, and I looked at you, just looking at me like this. You just had this intense, like, we doing it. Like this motherfucker crazy, and I love it. I know he ain't finna take them up. Like, we getting vans, and we did that, you know. Yes, and we actually, you know, well, I did, because, you know, you didn't take the trip, but
I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready.
Shout out to OG Cool, but I filled 2 15-passenger vans up with so-called Crips and Bloods, and we drove from Texas to DC and back, protesting NASCAR at certain points along the way.
That's a hell of a trip to take some first timers leaving Fort Worth,
Yeah.
leaving
A
Texas,
lot of them
leaving,
is their first time leaving the city, let alone
Right.
leaving Texas.
Right.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
you took them on a
We
protest
went to
to
Atlanta.
face racist white
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
that was shouting in their
Mhm.
faces,
Yeah.
calling them niggas,
Mhm.
having the signs up. Y'all got
Yeah.
chased a couple times.
Yeah, we did. In Atlanta, we had to have state troopers surrounded us wherever we went.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about niggas.
Yeah.
We had NASCAR races, y'all. White America is alive and well at NASCAR races. So we had NASCAR races, protesting the racism inside of the
Right.
NASCAR organization. You know, for our own political reasons.
Absolutely.
It was a free field trip, but the best field trip on racism
Right.
you could ever take.
Right.
And that's all we had with us. It was me, Kushan. He drove one van, I drove another.
Come on.
And then we had a lot of 18 and ups
Right.
with us, between
Right.
18 and 24
Right.
with us.
Right.
A lot of, you know what I'm saying, that and they did it, you know. But when you talking about seeing some gangsters cry, when we was in Florida,
Right.
and we were surrounded by them state troopers,
Right.
and crackers was driving
Right.
by us and honking and they was making their own signs, NASKKKAR, you know. And I remember one dude, I ain't gonna say his name, but he had a tattoo teardrop, but it was some real teardrops coming. He had a tattoo teardrop, but them white folks around us, you know, and I'm in my bullhorn.
Right.
NASCAR's racist.
Right.
I'm talking all kinds.
Right.
Boy, Steve, Miss Steve, what? Man, they gonna kill us, dog. They gonna kill us. They gonna kill us, man. I'm like, oh, bro. Yeah, there ain't no crime. Stand straight
Right.
up, man.
Right. Right.
We gonna be okay.
Right.
You know? And it was a trick, because it was a black state trooper that was there. And,
Right.
his son ended up being in the NFL, but trooper, his last name is Apple. Eli Apple's his son, playing in the NFL.
Okay.
Eli Apple's daddy was one of the troopers in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And when I was doing my thing, he say, "Keep doing what you're doing, black man. I ain't gonna let nothing happen."
That's what's up. That's dope. That's
He's like, "I ain't gonna
dope.
let nothing happen to you
That's
today,
dope.
black man."
Come on.
And I'm like, "Shit, look at
And we
God.
good.
We good.
We good.
Man, we did some crazy
That's
shit
what's
on that
up.
trip, and
That's
we were
what's up.
protected every time. We had no incidents.
I've heard
yeah.
one of my great jegnas, Nana Ethiopia, she said to me, when you're doing the work of the ancestors, they have no choice but take care of you.
I'm a testimony.
And yeah.
We busted up in the NASCAR convention in disguise.
Disguise. Now, how can you be in disguise?
We looking like a maintenance man.
Oh, you did.
We look like the help. We had little work things on.
Y'all was like
we
on
had
a sitcom. It was like a sitcom.
Yeah. The people that was financing the protest, because it was really a fight between two white people. But anyway,
right.
They gave us badges to get fake. They had fake badges.
What?
We had a getaway van. Shit, we had a getaway van. We had this shit all mapped out like Mission Impossible.
You cannot make this shit up.
No, we did that, and we pull up. Matter of fact, shout out to Ruben, my essay partner. I know RBG, like you ain't got. I got essay partners. I ain't gonna even lie. I got essay because we've been when you go through shit with people.
That's right.
It's something different. So me and Rube got out, man. Me, Rube, and I don't know who else went in the building with, but me, Rube got up in there. And he had his outfit, I had mine on. I had a bullhorn here under mine, and he had a sign here down here that say NASCAR's races. And this is a convention of all their sponsors. So we walk up the escalator with our work thing on. As soon as we got in the room, woof. Now this coming to bullhorn. Hey, the U.S. Army, you support NASCAR? You know NASCAR's races? And I'm on the bullhorn. Everybody, oh. So they call security immediately. And when security come through, we going fast, like going through that mother. Boom. You know, man, come on, Rube. We come, NASCAR, Raven. NASCAR. Boom. And we already have our escape plan, everything.
That's crazy.
We hit that route.
Yeah,
boom.
it's a Mission Impossible.
And then Kushan pull up at the exit. We come out, we jump right in the van, and we gone. That was in D.C.
That was MI6.
Man, then that night, we got a hotel right across from the projects on purpose.
Supreme would like that.
Yeah, that night we walked into the projects. And just kicking it with the bros and the projects. Because when you protect it, you protect it. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we didn't have no problems.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man of many faces, man of many lives. Y'all. This is just half the story. I ain't got enough time to tell y'all all the stuff.
Yeah.
But that's
Wild Warrior.
Wild Warrior. I mean, that's why I love him. That's why we rolling. Rolling. We going to each brick, up.
I'm not a bravado dude. I don't need to show nobody nothing. But when it's time to get down, it's time to get down.
And I'm glad you say that, because they, as women, that is one thing that we need to feel protected, feel like that I'm with my mate, my husband, my man, and I need to feel like I'm safe to go in any arena that is, I'm gonna be good. And I've felt that. I've never had a doubt at a moment that I was unsafe, or that I wasn't gonna be taken care of or protected. I mean, and I'm the wild one, y'all. When we talk confrontation, I'm confronting. And especially when I know I got I'm like, yeah. And he's like, babe, stop, don't put me in that position. Oh shit, okay, my baby. But he's not ever had to get physical. He's always, even in physical moments, he's always been able to communicate and what's the word I'm looking for? Ooh, I hate when that happens. He's been able to talk to the person or to the people and really draw out and really pull out the essence of a goodness. And it's all done. They happy, laughing, talking with it, or they like, all right, then. I mean, he offering at the end, oh, you come by the studio, or come by here, I got you. What? He was just talking about, splitting your head open. But that's the kind of man that I'm with. And I have to honestly say, I've never have I felt unsafe. And you're not a physical man. You're not a man of big variety. He like to be back in the cut. And I still can know that when it come down, oh yeah, he have no doubts with that.
I found a lot of times when you walk and stand on your square,
right,
you don't have to.
Right.
Most men that I've met that lead with bravado are really afraid.
Right.
And they're so they're doing a bravado, they're scaring you because they're scared.
They're doing their best war.
Right. But but when I can walk up to you and say,
that's the thing. He's all in the space.
How you doing, man? It's nice to meet you. You okay?
Wow.
Let's talk about it. Exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
See, most who lead with bravado, they're gonna do it like this.
Right.
Yeah. And they because
you're making me uncomfortable.
I'm making you uncomfortable, but at the same time, my comfort.
That's what's making me uncomfortable.
Makes you feel that I'm prepared for you.
The audacity.
Right. It lets you know that I'm prepared.
That's
for you.
right. That's
you know what I'm saying? That we don't have to go this route.
And that's part of being a warrior. I read it somewhere when I was looking it up. It's like a warrior. It's also strong, silent strategist. They see the 15 steps here. The warrior is not the one that's always up front. It could be the one that's back there planning, and that's in the tent, the general or whatever. And that's a that's something that we have to always look at and not relay it as, oh, I'm a warrior. That's a very one-sided definition, and it's with anything, there's always a balance. It's just like this, it's always a balance. So we have to look at that and find that balance. And I'm grateful for it. I can't say that I wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm not looking forward, or have not wished that I've seen you in the physical confrontation. I'm not. I don't want to, because if you ever do that, then that means that you've exhausted all your means of trying to dissolve this and rectify the situation. And I don't know what you're going to do if you have to get physical. And I don't want to see that.
Well, I don't want to fight long. So I have to do something quick to end it. I'll end it fast.
My grandmother's always told me a fight is never fair. I don't know what y'all talking about, fair fight, baby, because this is all about, I need to make sure I'm good. So I use whatever's around me.
I've been trained to fight. You know, and but in my training, I was taught to not fight first.
Right.
In my training, the first fight is to avoid fighting.
That's the goal of a tactician.
Yeah, that's the goal of a tactician, to avoid that. But if that happens, my training is to incapacitate immediately. There's no bravado.
I ain't got time to be
no
breathing hard and be doing all this. No,
I'm thumb to eye.
What you tell me the other day, that up under here?
Pressure points. The corner of the chin, right there, right. And so everything is with intent,
right.
And when you're fighting, the ability to be able to think while you're fighting,
that's
is
right,
crucial. You know what I'm saying?
And if you all up in here, you can't. Your drilling is going. You can't really think and focus. All you worried about, I need to do this. But if you really, you make it. I see that. I got that.
Yeah,
you're teaching me a little wild warrior.
If you relax and think, then you can end a situation early.
Right.
But most of the time, if you can relax and think 90% of the time, you won't have a problem.
You won't have a problem.
Place.
Ooh, that's good stuff. Rataski, hey, brother Rataski, what's up? House of Hathor. Yeah, he's talking about if you fight, no such thing as fair. I know.
No,
there's no. If we're fighting, what you mean fairness?
And I deplore fighting. I deplore physical violence, but I'm not opposed to
it. I
deplore it. I deplore it. I believe in self-defense.
Right.
I believe you got a right to stand your ground and
the
whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? But I deplore it at the same time. And I was taught that the great warrior hates violence, but doesn't hesitate to use it when absolutely necessary.
That's right. And that brings me to when we're talking about us as a people, as a nation, those of us here in the Americas. We know our opposition believes the same thing. I just said, if you fight, no such thing as fairness. So why are we talking about fairness and equality? We need to get in the fight, join the fight and do it. And that's what I've always had. It's like, well, let's just go. Let's do. I don't like trying to plead and that's where the balance comes in, because you're like, no, it's not that. It's not pleading. I'm like you said, the tacticianary. That's where tactician. You're conversing and you're working it out in ways where it doesn't garner physical and violence. But I'm saying as a people,
it prepares you for it.
Oh, then that's what I'm saying. So as a people, let's get in the fight ready for that, knowing that if that comes, I'm ready. I'm gonna get it. But let's engage. You know what I'm saying? So we can, and that's where, we need both, and that's what I really
and like I admire those who are frontline protesters, those who are out there confronting the system every day. I admire that. That's needed, right? But at the same time, you need an army working inside the community to make the community strong.
That's right.
What point? How can you move a car that doesn't have an engine?
Right.
So how can you move a community that looks a certain way on the outside? You represent it on the outside, but it's weak on the inside.
Right.
And so you got black leaders out here and black people out here, good people that are talking about, we need equity in these schools.
Right.
We need to stop housing discrimination. They're all right. But if you're in a position where they say, okay, no more housing discrimination.
Right.
But you look at the community, there's no financial literacy. So we lack the financial literacy. So even if you put to exactly. A lot of what we're doing today is not fighting for rights. We're fighting to be able to maximize what rights we do have. A lot of the things we say we can't do, we could do if we were educated to do it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? We have power in our community that we don't utilize. We live in Columbia, South Carolina, and shout out to South Carolina. There's more black people here than anywhere I've ever lived in the United States. But I've been told by people from here that even though you might have a school board with 9 members and 7 of them black, they still mentally are afraid to do anything exclusively for black people.
That's right.
It's a fear.
Right.
That's there.
And when you it brings me, I always, I talk about the Black Panthers and how those group of young folks, educated young folks,
changed the
world. And when and even with was it the Panther 21 or something like that
in New York with Assata.
How did that? That's how we were able to get with a feigning. But how did Assata? What was that? Who were they? They weren't. That wasn't 21. Black Liberation Army. Same tie, same. And when I'm talking about Black Panther Party, they had to go into the community. And the same with the Black they knew community work was essential. I need to win the hearts of the people. They need to know that I have their back, they have mine, that they can get what they need if it's needs. That's how she was able to make it out. That's how a lot of our people were able to be safe and move through the community unseen, sight unseen, and get up out of America and stuff like that, because they have the hearts of the community, and the community believed in them, and they did. Why? Because they did things. They were partnering within the community to make the community better through education, through feeding, all those things. I always look at that and I'm like, that's a for sure way that these things can work if we just utilize
Your community is always your power base.
Right. Yes.
Always.
Right.
So whether your goal is to get Black people to vote because you think you can change things with the system,
Right.
or your goal is to set up a nation of your own,
Right.
you still need the Black
You still
community in
need
order to do
right.
it. It still begins. Your power base is still there.
Yes.
And when that power base is cut off,
Right.
your efforts are fruitless.
Right.
A lot of times we get on leaders and say, he'll sell out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now he's stranded.
Right.
Some of them ain't sold out. Some of them just stranded because
right.
they stepped out there and say, yeah, you done did it. You done been the one on the
Right.
job
Oh, yeah.
to step up and say, we want better
Right.
pay. Y'all in the back room.
That's me.
Y'all in the back room talking about we need better pay.
Right.
Then you get out there and see the supervisor. We need better pay.
Right.
And you look.
Everybody, they back here.
And
again.
everybody back here.
I'm like,
I
dang.
see it, you know,
I've been it. I've felt it.
And I've seen Black leaders go through the same thing. You jump out there.
Yeah.
People just want to get me to jump out there.
Right.
You go down City Hall there, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that,
Yeah.
because when I jump out there,
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there.
That part. And I mean
Alone.
all right. And that's when I was in corporate America, they used to try to get me to be a union rep. And I was like, no, y'all don't fight for me hard enough. Why am
So
I
you gotta
to
be,
do
yeah,
it?
you gotta be strong. So
Yeah.
shout out to another warrior, Pastor Dr. Michael Bell.
Absolutely.
Pulled me to the side one day and he say, man, just make sure that what you do, stay strong and build your connections in the community. So when they pull you, when they uproot you, your roots are tied to so many other trees that they can't uproot you without uprooting the whole forest.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I just took that wisdom and
Yes.
I rock with that.
I love that. Brother Rataski is definitely saying we're on one accord, just talking
That's
about the spirituality is so important within using a train of thought and with the hours to be able to be a warrior, to fight and be on the front line and everything. We need that spiritual system so that we can understand and have that our own sense of protection as well, knowing that we're taken care of. Like I said, when you're doing the work of the ancestors, they have to take care, but that's because you're tied in spiritually. You understand those things. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely key. And when you say stay in your lane, Brother Rataski, stay in your lane. I know, do what you do best lane, and you do your part. This is what I've been called to do. This is what I'm doing. And
I love that you mentioned spirituality.
Right.
I just want to briefly say, what I'm saying? Warriors are spiritual.
I say,
and warriors believe in God or the God in itself, in whatever form that warriors believe in that higher power. Mm-hmm. Warriors embody that higher power, and prayer is a big part of my life, a huge part of what I do. You know what I'm saying? And of course, if I had a religion, it would probably be Islam. But at the same time, I'm an African-centered universalist. I believe in those universal laws that bring us all together. So I love Ifa in its purest form. I love African-centered Christians. I love African-centered Muslims. Those I'm putting the African-centered. And wait a minute, I gotta say African-centered Ifa because just because Ifa or Yoruba is an African religion, not everyone who practices it is practicing from an African center. Correct. You understand what I'm saying? Correct. And so humility is a big part of warriorhood, and spirituality is a great way to strengthen your humility, your modesty, so you can say, give all praise to the Creator and the ancestors, so I can keep my ego balanced.
That's right. Because
when you're a powerful king, you can't abuse your power, right? And so part of my goal is never to abuse my power as a Baba, as a husband.
I say, and I give thanks for that. That's another thing that I've loved and I admire, is because I didn't have to worry about. I have a righteous, a good man. I don't have to ever wonder about that, and that is not only just for me, but knowing I'm watching with the community. It's not just what the things you present with me and for me. It's watching you with the community, watching you with the children, watching you with the young ladies and the young. You just are righteous, a man, and spirituality always goes first with you, and that's it's beautiful. And so I'm definitely astonished that we're able to be on this journey together, and that
it's a challenge. Babe. I mean, you see it, and being with a wild warrior woman, I mean, that's a requirement for a man like me, and I get to not be perfect with you,
Right.
and you can handle it.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
just as my goods are my goods, my bads can be really
Oh,
bad.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and
If you ever leave me and do me wrong, the tell-all book is coming, boo. No, oh, wow, what? My bad.
yeah, thank you. You might get a hold. They might send you to Say Cheese TV for that one, but no, don't worry, y'all. We're not fighting or nothing like that. But it's just that you know, I have insecurities.
Right.
Like you said, you asked if that's ever challenged. You see it. You see it firsthand that there are times where I question myself.
Right.
I question my decisions. I look around because I don't possess things.
Right.
I don't possess things. And I'm not saying I don't have nothing. I'm saying I don't possess things.
Yeah.
And that's something I kind of realized about myself. Even as a young man, I've never really been into possessions.
Right.
I've been into impact and experiences. You know, and I need people around me to protect my possessions.
Right.
Like my oldest brother, Tony, has my writing books where I wrote my raps. I didn't know where that stuff was. But every time I go to visit my brother, he gives me some shit that was mine that I left behind that's meaningful to my life. You know?
That's funny because you're right. God has brought those people in your life because Zeno G, he's a keeper of things for you.
He sends me pictures like, remember this day? I don't, but thank you for remembering and you for documenting. You don't throw nothing away. Right. And so, I don't possess things. You know what I'm saying? And it's perhaps because as I pass through this life, you know what I'm saying? My job is to build. My job is to encourage and not necessarily to possess. Darius Wiley, shout out. I did not know you was hooking me up with $1,000 shoes. I didn't know. Because I don't know. I don't know what black cats
just walking around chilling.
Right. So I got on some $800 Jordans. I'm going to Food Line in them. I didn't know because I don't. I don't possess things like that. You know what I'm saying? But what I do possess is love. You know, and I try to honor that. I try to honor that, and I do the best that I can. I'm not perfect, but I do the best that I can, and I have a warrior woman with me, and you know, iron sharpens iron in this relationship.
Absolutely.
I mean, if there's ever was an iron sharpen iron relationship, it's this one. Because we throw flames at each other, you know, not in maliciousness. No, man. We just be hurting each other's feelings.
That's all.
we just care about what each other think.
Down.
Yeah, we break each other's ego down, all that type of stuff, man. And all that shit that they say you divorce over. Because a lot of people are divorcing over emotions. You know what I'm saying? And it's done so much for me. You know, marrying a woman. I remember I fell in love with you in church. And I was visiting your church, you know, because you know you love somebody. You don't believe in Jesus, but you go to church.
But you go.
I'm all up in that church. Everybody looking at me like a rebel Muslim. And I remember one day, you know, he was preaching. Lil Rod was preaching. And you stood up and you was crying. Yeah. And you was in. And I looked and I said, because I saw a couple of fake Holy Ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Holy Ghost competition going on. I looked up at you like, oh, now she mean that.
Yeah.
She's convicted. Yeah. And if she can believe in me and believe in what us, the way she believes in that, then I got one.
He's such a pimp player, y'all. Did y'all hear that? And she believe in me as much. I feel like I'm back in the 70s listening to Switch or the Whispers or somebody. What's the flower, the wild flower? That's his favorite song.
You're my flower. You know what I'm saying?
My children.
You're like a flower that blooms in any season. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm not gonna stop. I'm
gonna take y'all the way to the top if you're not afraid.
Yeah. And I'm on board. Take me to the top. No. Man, it's been powerful. I look forward to much more of the wildness, the warriorship that we're going to go through, the leveling up and the transformation of our lives and the communities that we touch. I'm looking forward because that's what we do. We don't do this for the fame, the celebrity, the fortune, obviously, but we are going to we're
not paupers,
be reciprocal.
We're not paupers.
We're not pro-righteous teachers. We believe in reciprocity. We believe in being honored by our gifts. We're going to be well endowed in many ways, in people, human resources, financial resources, land, all those things, and just having those people at our memorial services standing up talking about all the greatness and how we transformed their lives without even knowing it. I look forward to that. That may be a little vain, but I look forward to when I'm passing away and they talk about, I just want to talk about Mama Nkoyo. She did something. I love that. So I'm gonna continue to do those deeds of those things in order to garner that kind of reverence. I'm loving it. I want y'all to shout out my name, Iba Ashe, whatever I'm called when I transition.
Maybe I'm gonna be front row shouting your name.
Who said
front row?
What? We're going together. I thought you knew.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I said don't lie. Dang, if something happened. I'm just kidding, y'all.
Okay, my bad. I'm not sick. I need to just lay down next to you. Okay.
Yep.
All right, no
Come on.
problem.
Us sick. What's wrong, boss? We sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Yep.
sick. I'm gonna be right there with you. I'm like, ugh.
And then when I go, you okay. Before we turn this thing, he say she
right.
Alafia Ni Nkechi Omurinsola. That's one of my sisters. She's up in North Carolina. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really Miss Tia grew up in Florida. Frida Land says thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate y'all. I'm not going to keep you long. We've been on here for a while. I just want to end it by asking you, what are some words that you could leave to those coming up behind you, or that you're bringing up? So what are some things that you can leave with them as a wild warrior man? As a wild warrior man, we're at war, brothers, sisters, and a big part of that war, before we get into who we're at war with, before we get into why we're at war, a key component that's keeping us weak is our inability to stay here with each other. Black men, Black women, warriors. We've all gone through some things, and we have to work through these traumas. We have to work through this and build this Black family, right? And so, brothers, when you get a warrior woman, keep her. You don't lose your discipline. Yes. Right. And it's not, I'm not anti-polygamy. Matter of fact, I'm pro-polygamy. If honesty, I'm pro any honest relationship. Right. And brothers, the reason why a lot of your relationships don't work is not because you cheated, it's because you're a coward. Ooh. And you won't just come out and say, I want to have more than one woman, and I'm going to be patient and wait until I have that. You want to lie and get with somebody who don't believe in the same thing, and then pretend to be something else. And when a sister see that you too scared to tell her the truth about what you're doing, that's how she loses respect for you. That's right. It's not that she has to share. It's that you're too weak. If you're too weak to tell her the truth, when the enemy come, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? How can she trust that, right? And let's stop taking advantage of the fact that we're the head, or take advantage of the fact that we're breadwinners. Let's stop abusing our power and start affirming our power as men. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I have. I've been told before that I'm not a natural leader of men, because I don't belong to a lot of men's groups. You know what I'm saying? But I just try to lead by example. Watch what I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I will leave with. Honor your warrior woman. Honor her, respect her, love her, protect her, be real with her, stand in the flames with her. And then after the flames die down, still be there with her. Whoa. I give thanks. Ashe. Powerful. What a powerful way to end. Woo. I want to say this before I go into ending the broadcast, is that all of you business owners, please put your links, your names of your business in the feed, because we can't spread the dollar if we can't spread word. We can't spread the black dog. We don't spread the word. That's right. So please put your links. Please let us know what you do. What's your specialty? How can we support you? And keep supporting us. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I gotta make sure I try to get all that stuff, that social media stuff.
Shout out House of Hathor.
House of Hathor, Columbia, SC. Woo, woo.
Shout out to the whole Juneteenth crew.
I was just about to say, I can't leave and end without congratulating you, the VP of the Juneteenth Freedom Fest. Here in Columbia, South Carolina. Man, that's what's up.
Rutaski, the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be a part of the team. I look forward to helping to organize a fantastic Juneteenth celebration this year and beyond.
Yes, y'all come on out. Y'all know it's his Earth Day, June 18th. So we do it big during that time because we're celebrating the wonderful man and celebrating a wonderful time for us as Black people. And it's just powerful. And just look forward to some greatness. He's jumping in where he fit in, as he always does. But just look, I look forward to just the connections that we're able to make within the community that we now live and we call home. So being a part of that, Juneteenth, Jamal and Brother Rataski and Sister Tina and all the others that are part of the team, y'all have done a great job. We've watched because we've done this. We've done this on a different dime, but we've done this. And we just was like, this is beautiful. We just love how organically it's moving and growing. So we're just, we're honored to be a part of that family now. And yeah, don't work him too hard, y'all. I'm just saying, this is his time. We're gonna enjoy. No, I'm just kidding. He's gonna work himself hard. That's what we do, That's what we're gonna do.
What do you mean the lights on the stage ain't working? Oh my goodness. Who didn't show up? Oh, I can't wait. That's gonna be so fun.
So we give thanks for that. I got another podcast coming up with a beautiful sister of mine. Oh, look, I know, right? I mean, y'all knew what y'all was doing when y'all asked him to be on board. Y'all knew. He was waiting in the cup, ready. He be ready. It's like, I'm ready to get back out of here. Coach. And it's like the spirit just knew. Whoop, boop. All right, you're ready. Gives you what you asked for. So I have another podcast coming up with Sister Ifatumishe of Oshun Sacred Healing House. Is going to be beautiful. Look forward to it. We're going to do our first show introducing ourselves at the end of this month. So just look forward to the all the flyers and things coming up. Wild Warrior Women is coming back on a consistent basis. I will do my next show with my new guest for this year. Getting my lineup together, sending out my emails to invite those, so you'll be introduced to more Wild Warrior women and possibly some more Wild Warrior brothers. You know what I'm saying? I got my eye out. I kind of like how this dynamic, we have that masculine, feminine energy, that balance coming in. So just look out. We've got great things on the horizon. Uhuru Academy, I want you to definitely, this is how I eat. Make sure you support the Uhuru Academy. We are now enrolling. He's going to go step away. And thank you, Baba Amin, for being my interview for the day. If you want to support us as far as the Uhuru Academy, please visit us at www.uhuruacademy.com. We are always enrolling. We also have our Operation Reconnect, which you can find on www.uhuruacademy.com. If you want to support us in donations, you don't have a child to enroll, you don't have a niece or anybody, please Cash App $ Uhuru Academy. And if you would like to become a supporter, a monthly donor, we have the Uhuru Academy. Become a patron of Uhuru Academy at patreon.com //Uhuru Academy. I am also, again, the founder of Uhuru Mama. And I will have some more things coming up. I have a new podcast that I'm coming out with this year. I'm going to have a launch, virtual and in person. Brother Rataski, I'll be talking to you, okay, about launching of Uhuru Mama. That's my maternal and wellness center that I'll be launching here in Columbia. And like I said, online, I'm available as a midwife for you, bringing back that aka granny midwife energy and tradition back into our lives as Black people. So join me there at uhurumama.com. If you Valentine's is coming up, that's a time for those who celebrate and get a coma day for us that are within the conscious community or the woke community or whatever. A coma day. Don't get caught slipping, but if you do, call me at uhurumama.com. Get with me, because then it's gonna be showing know, in September, October, November, about that time. Yeah, you had fun on Wakoma Day. So shout out to me. What else do I want to talk about? There's a lot of great things, but just stay tuned. I appreciate all you guys who have been on with me. Sister Nkechi, you should put your dual services on there. I would love for you to put your in there as well. I love and love that Black women are coming back to the tradition that we were born, that we brought here to the Americas. We were doing it before we were left. Our ancestors were doing it before we were kidnapped from the continent, and we brought it here to help bring forth life. We're going to continue this. All right. So I love y'all. Don't mind telling you, please meet me here. Be looking out for the schedule for Wild Warrior Women. Join me next time. I love you guys. Don't mind telling y'all, have a Blacktastic week and a Blacktastic weekend. Peace. All right. And can you put her labor in love doulaservices.com. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. All right. I wanted to make sure before I ended the live to say that it's peace. You've been on with Ifeanyi Nkoyo, Binah of Wild Warrior Women Wednesday. Stay tuned.